Monday embodied meditation for musicians. I'm Jennifer Roig-Francolí, creator of The Art of Freedom for Conscious Living and Masterful Artistry. I'm also the host of the free Facebook group called The Musician's Advantage with Jennifer Roig-Francolí. So last week was the first time that I offered this, and due to the positive response that I got, thank you everybody who was there and responded and let me know that you enjoyed the meditation. I've decided to make this a regular weekly event, Mondays at 9 a.m. Eastern, in my Facebook group as well as on YouTube. So I would love to just hear from you. Tell me if this is working, if you can hear me. Say hello, and I should be able to notice that you're here and interact with you. So if you weren't at the first one that I did last week was more of an introduction to what I'm going to be doing, and introducing why meditation is so important for musicians. Obviously not just for musicians. I really believe strongly that it's very important for everyone, and all of humanity could benefit from meditation. So I'm going to put the link into the comments. Let me see if I can see it right now. I want to put a link into the comments so that you could watch the introduction from last week if you haven't seen it and you would like to. Just drop that into the comments right now. So there it is. I think it worked. Oh, Carol Ann, hello. I'm so glad that you're here, and I can actually see some names this time because I set it up a little differently. So I'm going to keep popping over. Whoops. Hold on. I need to turn off the sound on my phone. So now that I have everybody on my phone, I should be able to see who's here. Susan, hello, and Peter. Wonderful. Thank you for being here. So now I'm going to go back to my platform, and yes, Kenya, hello. I can see that you're here too. Wonderful. Good. So let's just get started. Let's start with checking in with ourselves for a moment. This practice that I'm sharing with you to begin with is called ima. Ima means now in Japanese, and it's an abbreviated version of ima because usually when I'm teaching ima, I can see the person that I'm working with. What I do is a hands-free version of Alexander technique called Primal Alexander, and being able to observe how a person is responding and give real-time feedback is an important part of how I work with people. But we're going to do this now in a way that works very well also, even if I can't see you. So this abbreviated version of ima. Just check in with yourself. You can ignore what you're seeing on the screen. You don't have to look at me. You can just let your eyes be free, look anywhere you like. Take in what you're hearing, what you're seeing around the room or wherever you are, and bring your attention back to yourself. So ask yourself right now, what do I notice about myself? What do I notice about my body in particular? Is my body showing up and giving me any sensations of any sort? It could be positive, negative, painful, tense, free, relaxed, easy. Whatever shows up is exactly what needs to show up right now. So ask yourself, what am I noticing about my body right now? As soon as I check in with myself, because I've done this for a long time, I start to notice little places of tension, but immediately I notice that my body starts to ease. That's just from lots of practice. So whatever's showing up, stay with it for a moment and don't judge it if it's uncomfortable or painful. Just be with it. Be with yourself for a moment without judging. Don't try to fix anything or change anything. Just notice. And cultivate this attitude of, oh, that's interesting. Because it is interesting. Even if it's painful, it's interesting, right? What could be more interesting than noticing the ever-changing terrain of our inner self and our body, mind, self. It's all connected, by the way. So ask yourself again right now, because every moment is fresh. What am I noticing about myself right now? What's showing up? Good. Now ask yourself, is there a place in my body that feels relatively okay? If you had a place of pain or places of pain or tension that were showing up, is there a place that's relatively less painful, less tense, less uncomfortable? We're looking to compare and contrast different parts of the body. What's showing up now? Is there a place that's relatively comfortable? If you're in a lot of pain, it's okay. You're never in exactly the same kind of pain in every part of your body. You want to get curious. Where is there a place in your body that is just a little bit easier than the worst places, or the places that showed up first? Find the places of relative ease. And if you notice relative ease in lots of places, that's great. But don't let your attention get stuck in any one place. Keep asking yourself this question: where else do I seem to be easing a bit? If you're new to my work, write that question down. It is a very important question. It's what we call constructive thinking in Primal Alexander. The exact words are very important, and people change them without realizing it. That's why I suggest write them down. Where else do I seem to be easing a bit? Good. So let's move on now and do something called TheCyCle. Again, you can find, there are 2 tutorials now on my YouTube channel and here in my private, or my free Facebook group, The Musician's Advantage with Jennifer Roig-Francolí is the name of the group. There are 2 videos teaching TheCyCle. And I put one in the Facebook group today at the bottom, or in the comments right now, I put in a link to one of them. So I'm not going to actually do much teaching of how to do TheCyCle right now. We're just going to do it. And if you want the tutorials, please go check them out later when you have a chance. Okay. Hello, Adisha and Kay and Beverly, Rosie, Christina. Wow, I'm so happy you're all here. This is great. Jackie, Eric, Stacia. Lovely. Thanks for joining me. Okay, so we're going to do TheCyCle. We're going to cycle through all 10 fingers one at a time, just holding them very gently. And you're going to start with the thumb right now. So hold your thumb really gently. Rest your arms. You don't have to hold them up. On each finger, I'm going to count to 4. And after each number, we're going to ask this question: where else do I seem to be easing a bit? But this time, instead of trying to find a place in your body, we're just going to ask the question without needing an answer. In fact, that's part of the point. We want to be curious and wake up our mind-body connection in the context of wondering about easing, but we're going to throw the question up and out of our bodies, up above us. We're going to rise above the body in a way. Okay, we're including the body and we're uplifting our thinking. We're rising above, literally, with our awareness, with our attention. Okay? And we're doing that by asking the question and not trying or needing to find anything in the body. You're just asking the question with curiosity, throwing it up and out, and moving on. Okay? I'm going to say the question out loud, the first few fingers, and then I'll gradually taper off, and then just ask that question for yourselves mentally after each number. Okay? It's a carefree way of asking a question without needing an answer, starting with the thumb. And by the way, if you have any questions, put them in the chat. I will check back later. Okay? 1, where else do I seem to be easing a bit? 2, where else do I seem to be easing a bit? 3, where else do I seem to be easing a bit? 4, where else do I seem to be easing a bit? Index finger. 1, where else do I seem to be easing a bit? 2, where else do I seem to be easing a bit? 3, where else do I seem to be easing a bit? 4, where else do I seem to be easing a bit? Middle finger. 1, where else do I seem to be easing a bit? 2, where else? 3, where else? 4, where else? If this seems too fast, have more of a carefree attitude. You don't need to know anything. You don't need to be able to figure it out or understand anything. You don't need to be able to find anything. Just follow along with me with this attitude of gentle curiosity, throwing the question up and out and moving on. Sometimes I lose track of which finger I'm on when I give commentary, so I apologize now. I think we're moving on to the 4th finger. That's the ring finger. I may have skipped a finger, but this is what this is about. It's the art of freedom. We need to develop a carefree, not careless, but carefree attitude where even mistakes are okay. As musicians, this is very important. So whether it's right or not, we're moving on to the ring finger. 1, where else do I seem to be easing a bit? 2, where else? 3, where else? 4, where else? Pinky. 1, where else? 2, where else? 3, where else? Keep your eyes open. 4, where else? Other hand, thumb. There are really good reasons for having the eyes open, which I've talked about before. I'm not going to go into it now. Just trust me. Keep them open. But let them be free. Don't let them stare or get stuck looking at anything. Just let them be open and free. They're free to move. This is a very simple, easygoing practice. You are free. Just get curious and wonder. Ask the question, throw it up and out, and move on. No concentrating allowed. Thumb. 1. Where else do I seem to be easing a bit? 2, where else? 3, where else? 4, where else? Good. Index finger. 1, where else? 2, 3, 4. Middle finger. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ring finger. 1, 2, 3, 4. And pinky. 1, 2. Where else do I seem to be easing a bit? 3. Where else? 4. Where else? Sometimes your answer might be, I don't know, who cares? Good, so that's the cycle. Again, if you have questions about anything at all related to this meditation or anything that I offer on YouTube or in my Facebook group, please send me a message. I'm very happy to interact with you. We're going to move on in a moment and do 5 minutes of silent meditation. But before we do that, I just want to look over at my phone where I can actually see who's here and say hello. Wonderful. Jenna, David, Beverly, so happy you're all here. Thank you for watching. Great. I can actually see comments if anybody has comments. Beverly, good morning to you too. Thank you for saying so. Yes, wonderful. And good. I'm going to be doing this every Monday. So if you do, again, I'm going to say it over and over, but if you have questions about anything, I always go back and check to see if there are comments in the live videos that I do when I'm done. So it's best if you can tag me, but if you don't tag me, I will probably see it anyway. So please respond and tell me what you're noticing. You know, this is a very important thing when we do the cycle together, when we do EMA, when we do this work as a group. I think it's really beneficial for people to see what's happening for other people, right? Everybody's different. Everybody has a different response. Everybody's body is different. Everybody's mind is different. The principles are the same. The system and the process is the same for everybody, but the things that we notice in ourselves, they're always unique and they're always changing. So every Monday, you're going to have a different experience, even though I'm doing the same thing with you. So I would invite you to please and encourage you to please put into the chat the things that you're noticing. Just so that other people can realize, oh, I'm not alone. I'm not the only one with this pain or this tension. And, you know, violinists tend to have neck pain, jaw pain, you know, back pain is common, wrist pain. These are all things that TheCyCle can start helping you with. And TheCyCle is the very first of many, many awareness etudes that I teach my private coaching students and my group students. So if you're interested in how you can learn more, please reach out. You can message me through Facebook, through YouTube. You can send me an email at jennifer@artoffreedom.me. There are lots of ways to reach me, and I'm very happy to help and tell you more about what's possible. Okay, so let's move on and do 5 minutes of silent meditation today. I like to have an intention for our silent meditation periods. So give yourself a moment right now to pause. If you want to close your eyes in this portion, that's totally fine. We never close the eyes during the cycle, unless you're so tired and you have to force them to be open. That's no good. So, but in the silent meditation, you're free to have them open, closed, whatever you like. So ask yourself right now, what is my intention in doing these 5 minutes of silent meditation today? What do I want? What am I aiming for? How do I want to show up for myself? You might respond to yourself with just a really simple one-word answer. I have some intentions for us together. I'm doing these on Monday mornings because I personally feel like it's a great way to start out the week. Of course, if you're in Europe, it's in the evening, but anyway, it's still Monday, right? So I intend to have a better week, have a great week for myself, and I wish that for you. I intend to have a great day. I wish that for myself and for you. And I'm going to practice today. I don't know about you. And I intend to bring this mind-body awareness, this whole holistic awareness of myself and the world around me as one. I intend to bring that awareness into my practice session for a great practice session. And I wish that for myself and for all of you, if you're today or tomorrow, whenever. And if you have, I know one of my students has a recording session, and she might be watching still, although it's soon. If you're here, Rosie, I intend this to help you with your recording session today. If anybody has a concert, put it in the chat. This is for you. This is to help you have a great performance today. Okay, so I'm going to take a peek at the clock, try to keep this to around 5 minutes more or less. I also, last but not least, I am intending for these 5 minutes of silent meditation for world peace and for the health of the earth. I feel strongly that each of us individually improving ourselves, taking care of ourselves, being present, and especially in community live at the same time. If we have an intention and hold that together, we really do make a difference. And it's on a level that the logical thinking mind may not be able to fathom. Well, can't fathom really. But I strongly believe that we can help everyone in the world and the planet by doing this very simple thing of being present to ourselves and then doing that in community with a group intention. So let's all also offer this to world peace and world peace and all kinds of goodness. So starting now. So, thank you all so much for taking this time out of your day for yourself and for joining us. So, sharing that with all of us here. Again, I love your feedback. This is the second time I've done this only. If you want to tell me if you like this format, just give me feedback, okay? I'm going to finish the video now, but as soon as I'm done, I'm going to circle back and check out your comments and respond if you have any questions. Thank you again so much for being here, and please join me next Monday. This is going to be a thing now, every Monday, 9 a.m. Eastern. Please invite your musician friends or non-musician friends to watch the YouTube version. That's just totally open to the public. Anybody can pop into the YouTube live video anytime. So share that link with people if you like. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. My Facebook group is only for musicians, but if you have musician friends, colleagues, teachers, students, please invite them to join the Facebook group, and then they can interact with me and everybody else there in the group, which is fun. So enjoy your day. May it be peaceful and energizing, and just enjoy yourselves. All right. Be well.